What's up, guys? So I'm here in my garage with my Lamborghini. No, I'm just kidding, it's a Lamborghini. But anyways, guys, welcome. My name is David Falla. Welcome to my channel, and today I have a cool tutorial. This is gonna be a super fire tutorial, man. Super long beard, super nice hair, salt and pepper look. Woo! It's like Instagram model type of look. Some people are just lucky, some people have those looks and the hair and all that stuff, you know, and I'm happy that I'm able to bring this tutorial to you guys. It's honestly, it's cool, it's really cool. So also, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like it, and also leave me your comments below. Let me know what you guys think about the video. And now with the talking, let's start with the video. Before I forget, some of you send me your haircuts for me to review and to like tell you guys what I think of it. It's becoming a little complicated, to be honest with you, just because of the amount of messages that I receive a day. So what I did, I created a hashtag where you guys can use on your haircuts. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be checking those hashtags, and like that is easier for me to find your haircut. So I'm gonna leave right here, the hashtag is WeAreFitBarber, and then just use that hashtag if you want me to review your haircuts, and yep, and that's it. So now I'm gonna start the video, like for real. Let's just start the video. So let's start the tutorial. This tutorial is going to be divided into two, obviously, because the beard, it's a long beard, so it's going to be pretty much two haircuts, right? So we're going to start with the top. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to divide the top from the sides. It's an undercut, so it was previously divided, like already parted, so it makes it easier. So pretty much we're going to go ahead and start with the 5 zeros in this case. So you can use your trimmer, or you can use your machine with a lever close, whatever you have to kind of zero the and kind of remove that bulk with the number 0. That's all you need. So here we just kind of going a little bit down, you can see towards the back, just because we're trying to follow the head shape. Remember when the client has like a more like a in this case the client has a little, his head on the back is a little flatter, I will say. So then we're gonna create a little bit of shape there, a little bit of you know, like roundness to the head, right? So it's important to always kind of compensate for whatever the client is missing, I guess, to say it like that. And obviously always keeping a square shape, because that's what we want. That's what we want for pretty much man haircut. You want to create a square shape all around. So here we're using a shaver just to bolt out the bottom. Just make sure you don't go all the way to the first guideline that you made. You give a little space just so you have space to erase whatever you need to erase. So here we're using a number 4, and then pretty much it's the same concept that I usually teach you guys. So we're starting with a number 4, and we're gonna start with lever open, and then we're gonna down fade. So we're gonna start down fading just means that you start with a lever open, and you go from top to bottom, and then as you go start going down, you start closing the lever, and then you change guards, and that's the same concept. So here we're using a number 3. You can see we start with a lever open. Then when you don't hear the machine cutting anymore, or you don't kind of feel it that it's cutting anymore, or you don't see it, then that's time to like lower or move or close the lever in this case. So we here we do a number 2. The good thing with this is that before didn't have the 1.5 in the 0, but the half. So the good thing about it was that you can kind of skip these guards with this setup. I feel like you don't really need them, especially me that got so used to cutting without them, then I don't really need them. So here's I'm in a number 2, and you can see like next step I'm gonna do is gonna be a number 1. So I'm skipping the 1.5 just because I don't need it. I already got used to using this clipper without the 1.5. So in this case we're gonna go ahead and use the back of the kind of the guard, right? So the guard has the, you know, the top part, and then the back part. That's what we're using here. So this is gonna avoid us making any more guides and kind of creating lines and then having to erase them and having to go back to number 2 and then the 1 and all that stuff, right? So this is just one way to erase these lines. So you can see we're closing the lever little by little, closing the lever, and then you're starting to see already the fade coming along. And then here we're gonna go ahead and use number 0. This is a 1/16 for Endis. It's a little bit different than the one that Wall has. I think the one from Wall is a little bit smaller, but this one works the same way, and it does the same, pretty much the same job. So just because I receive questions asking me if they're different, it's pretty much they're the same. I mean, they're different just because I feel this one cuts a little bit a little bit longer, but at the end of the day they do the same job. So you know, anyway, here we're gonna go ahead and continue closing that lever, and how you can see we're almost done with the fade. All you gotta do right now is use the machine with no guard, and then we're gonna go ahead and use that with the lever open, and we're gonna start closing it little by little. How you can see I'm kind of using the back of the blade a little bit more. You know, I'm not putting the machine kind of pointing, I'm kind of putting it towards the back so of the blade, so like that it kind of it avoids me creating more lines and also a lot of corners. You know, you don't have to sometimes use the whole blade. You can just use the corners to kind of give you more control of the area that you want to fade. And then at the same thing, you start closing the lever little by little. As you close the lever, you don't go as high anymore because there's no reason for it, right? You're trying just to erase the last line, so you don't have to go as high anymore. So this, you know, it's just more control at this part, and then a lot of corners pretty much, just so you have you can light up whatever needs is darker and things like that. If you have problems fading, you have questions about fades, I have videos that are more for beginners, to say it like that, you know, that which explain a little more in depth, like how is my fading process. So if you want to see those videos, you know, they're here on the channel. You will find them usually by the name of beginners or you know, videos like that will help you with the steps a little more in depth. So here we're gonna go ahead and wet the top. Remember, every time you're gonna cut the top, make sure it's fully wet. I see a lot of barbers just spray some water on the top, but they don't kind of get the roots like fully wet, and this is exactly what you want. So here we divide the hair into 3, and the middle part is going to be our section. I call this a mohawk section, just because it's kind of easier to remember. So you can see I'm not cutting too much because the client's letting it grow, but like all I'm doing, I'm pulling the hair 90 degrees from the floor. And you know, this is gonna avoid cutting too short on the places where the head kind of like rounds, right? So that's what we're measuring with the floor, so everything goes up. Okay, here, so I'm taking vertical section, I'm bringing my second section to my first, and this is gonna create a square. We want to create the top, as the top is gonna be a square. So we're gonna continue doing this, and then we go ahead and take another section, and then you continue doing that. You always bring your section to your previous, and like that it makes it easier to create the square look that we're going for. In this case, it's an undercut, so you want to keep it square, just because it makes it easier to style in my opinion. So here I'm just cross-checking. I started with vertical sections. Now I'm going to do horizontal sections. And what I'm doing, just checking, making sure that everything is even. Sometimes when you grab like bigger sections, then you are gonna leave some spots a little bit longer, so you have to definitely cross-check. I mean, just get in the habit, just cross-check all your haircuts. It just makes it easier, and it's the little details that matter, right? That's what clients pay extra for, when they know their barber is taking those extra steps to make sure that the hair is like perfect, you know. And then I know a lot of barbers just want to do it quick, and you know, they don't really pay attention much to it, but those barbers cannot complain when they cannot raise their prices, or when they're trying to do better but the clients are not really supporting them. It's just because those little extra steps matter. Okay, anyway, so we already cut the top. How I said, is a full square, so which is great. And then here we blow drying it. I'm gonna blow dry, kind of like almost fully blow dry it, not polish, just blow dry, just dry, just because I want to see how the hair looks, and you know, if there's anything that I need to fix, and it gives me a kind of like a look of knowing exactly how everything looks. Anyway, here we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with the beard. Usually with the beards, I kind of start on the middle, like, you know, in this case we're not cutting too much of it, we're just giving it shape. So I'm not sure exactly what else can I teach you guys when it comes to sculpturing beards, just because it's kind of like one of those things that you get a free hand, you gotta have an image on your head of the shape that you want to achieve, and then you're just gonna kind of sculpture that to that, right? So how many artists, when you see artists that do sculptures, and they sculpture like figures in wood and like in different things, right? Like all you know, it will be hard for them to really explain you what they're seeing, you know, because they're seeing it before they start doing it, right? So they already know what it's going to look like, right? So this is exactly what it is. So you gotta look at the person's head, at the shape of their face, everything, and see what shape will look nicer on them. Is it a like more rounder beard, a square beard, more triangle beard? So you once you decide that, then you start sculpturing like that. Use a machine that it has like a flat blade. In this case, I'm using my Supra that has like a 0.8 blade that is a F blade, so that means that it's meant for kind of sculpturing you know, like afros and things like that. So in this case I use it for the beard. So yeah, pretty much all you gotta do is just go ahead and look on the side, look on each side, and see how the beard is coming along. Obviously use your mirrors every time, because that really helps to kind of make sure the shape is correctly. You know, start from the bottom always, and you know, just make sure that you're very careful with this step, because you know, beards this long take a long time to grow, and if you are not careful, you're gonna make a hole, and yeah, it's gonna be a hot mess. So So yeah, well, anyways, once the beard's already shaped, we're gonna go ahead and shape up the beard. One thing I would recommend you guys, and one tip I give you, is to always maintain a high line when you're doing a big beard. You don't want to push that line too much, just because then they regrow. It kind of sucks, to be honest with you guys. So you want to make sure it's a high beard, so pretty much where the hairline grows on the beard. So here, just clean up the neck. Make sure you clean the neck, guys. This is what separates a barber from another. I've seen people with really nice haircuts and they don't clean up the neck. Like, I don't understand. Clean up the neck. The neck has to be clean always, guys. Okay, and the last step for the beard will be to go ahead and use the scissors or shears, and I'm using my Sharpie shears in this case. And you know, just gotta give it that look, that polished look that we're going for the beard. How you can see it looks beautiful. You know, that's such a nice beard. I mean, the client's lucky to have hair and have a beard, and you know, like, that's such a cool look. You know, not everybody's that lucky. So for those that are lucky and can get this look, I would recommend you this. It looks so cool. So it's an undercut with a long big beard, salt pepper look, very modern, very cool, and you see a lot of that on Instagram. So anyway, you guys, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe and like it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.